nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item is approve the minutes from last month.
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, back row boy, you're up.
I have my report there, as you can see. There's a beginning balance, there's additions, some subtractions, and a new balance.
Well, this is why he's in the back row.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll touch on that when I get through mine, but I'll make a motion to accept Jay's report.
Yes, sir.
I'll second
I always
that.
know that Rob is gonna expand upon it with his expertise, so I just have to supply the numbers.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Well, it's a
Now the
good check
teacher's
and
backing
balance
you.
that your numbers and mine match, you know what I mean, so I think that's good. So if you take a look at the, my report, the first page, beginning balance of $37,096,000, give or take. We had contributions which were withheld from paychecks, which matches what Jay has there, totaling $62,898, a little bit of interest. And then we had monthly retirement benefits of roughly $225,000, and there were 2 quarters of admin fees lumped together there, $59,410. And I will note that our fees that we pay to Marquette Associates are on a new, slightly higher schedule now that our balance has gone over 50 million. So that number used to always be straight up 25,000 a quarter. Now it can vary based on what that balance is.
Maybe we should talk to him about that.
I think we should.
So, and then of course the part that everybody's interested in, the current market value as of February 28th was $51,308,000, which is an increase of about $437,000 from January 31st. And then of course my charts show all that corresponding information, so unless anybody has any questions, that's all I have.
Questions? Motion to approve his report?
I'll make a motion to approve Controller Edwards' report.
Second.
Oh, that, all those in favor?
Aye.
2 retirements, I know we knew about those. Michael Myrie, I thought you mentioned that, didn't you? Michael Myrie passing?
Yeah, he did pass. He was a former, he was commissioner, but before that, he was coroner for
When was
quite a
he
few years.
commissioner?
When Harry Fred Bigler, he had about a year to go on his term.
He filled out a term.
Resigned, and
Late
Mike was
80s.
appointed.
Yeah, late 80s,
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
yeah.
Learn something every day. Tessa Irvin, I remember you mentioning that, so.
Yeah, she started back part-time, but I think it prompted her to turn in her paperwork to get her money.
And then what do you need this month?
We'll still be good with the typical 250.
Okay. And then maybe next month we can start on our contribution once tax stuff's in, right? All right, well, is there a motion to withdraw $250,000 from the retirement fund?
Motion to withdraw / transfer $250,000.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anything for the good of the order? Motion to adjourn retirement board.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All yours, Tim.
Good morning, everyone. We'll welcome you to the Board of Commissioners meeting for March 24th, 2026. We will dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance as we just did that under retirement. First thing will be to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. This was March 10th, 2026.
I'll move that we approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
And now we will go back to Controller Edwards for the dark side of his reporting today. Retirement money was up is good. Now for the bills.
So the general fund, $911,163.87. Liquid fuels, $12,515.62. Hazmat, $2,297.02. 911, $17,631.88. domestic relations, $2,476.49, and children and youth, $1,163,991.36, for a total of $2,110,076.24.
Do I have a motion to approve the bills as presented by Controller Edwards?
So moved. Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Well, we have a list of personnel issues to come before the commissioners here. A minute to sign this here. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Rob.
Under new hires, corrections officer at the jail effective 3/10/2026. Deputy Sheriff's Department effective 3/16/2026. Deputy in the Sheriff's Department effective 3/16/2026. DC2 in the Prothonotary's office effective 3/16/2026. Tip staff under the courts effective 3/16/2026. Maintenance worker 2 at the jail effective 3/23/2026. And victim witness advocate under the DA's office effective 3/30/2026. No transfers. Separations and retirements would be part-time corrections officer at the jail effective 3/11/2026 and corrections officer at the jail effective 3/19/2026. Do I have a motion to approve the personnel changes as presented?
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any public comment? Treasurer back there, he's remaining silent, so. Any old business to come before the board, gentlemen? Hearing none, we will move on to new business, which we will be proclaiming April as Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we will turn the floor over to Miss Aloya Royer, who's going to talk about this for a few moments. Thank you for coming today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So I brought my staff, so I'm Alora, I'll start with that.
Laura, if you want to use that.
If you want to come up,
Yeah,
this way you'll be on the video for our hundreds of
Yes.
viewers.
all right.
Or one viewer.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll start with me. So my name's Alora Royer. I'm the manager of our Family Support Services program over at Children's Aid Society in Clearfield. I brought Riley with me today. She's gonna walk around and pass out blue ribbons for Child Abuse Awareness Month. They're blue ribbons. So a little bit about what we do. So we have 3 programs we run for parent education, and these do take part in helping prevent
Way too
child
little
abuse.
for.
We have our Triple P program, which stands for the Positive Parenting Program. We have our Nurturing Program, and our Parents as Teachers program. So our Triple P, that goes for problem behaviors. So instead of working with the child, we actually work with the parent on how they can change their parenting strategies to get more positive behaviors out. For nurturing, we can serve prenatal all the way up to teen, and it's really just for basic parent information. It really hits on how we can nurture our children better than maybe we were nurtured as children, or what we want to do differently too. And it does have a trauma evidence base too. And then for parents as teachers, we serve prenatal up until 5 years old. And really we work on the mother's need, well, the family's needs as a whole, and the child development. So just a few of our outcomes, because these programs really do work. So for Triple P, we've seen an increase in parents' confidence in managing problem behaviors and development issues, a reduction in parents' use of coercive and punitive methods of disciplining children, increase of parental confidence in raising their children, and decrease child behavior problems. For nurturing, we've seen use of nonviolent discipline being increased, an increase of positive self-concept, self-esteem, and self-worth, and positive interactions among family members. And then for parents as teachers, we've seen an increase in healthy pregnancies and birth outcomes, improved parenting capacity, parenting practices and parent-child relationships, improved family health and functioning, improved child health and development, and prevention of child abuse and neglect. So part of why I'm here today. As service providers, we are just one part in preventing child abuse. So as a community, we all need to do our part to help prevent child abuse. And that's all I have.
Well, first off, let me say thank you to Children's Aid Society for all that you do and for a very long period of time serving the children in need of Clearfield County. And it will now be my pleasure to read into the record the proclamation by the Clearfield County Commissioners of Child Abuse Prevention Month for 2026, being the month of April. Children's Aid Society has been able to partner with Clearfield County in order to increase the efforts to prevent child abuse within our communities. The programs that we are offering to help prevent child abuse are Triple P, Parents as Teachers, and Nurturing. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a complex and ongoing problem in our society affecting many children in Clearfield County, and whereas every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, feel secure, and be free from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect, and whereas it is the responsibility of every adult who comes in contact with a child to protect that child's inalienable right to a safe and nurturing childhood, and whereas our communities are stronger when all citizens become aware of child maltreatment prevention and become involved in supporting parents to raise their children in a safe and nurturing environment. And whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among families, social service agencies, schools, religious and civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of Clearfield County, PA, proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Clearfield County and call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, elected leaders, and businesses to increase their participation in efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the community in which we live. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
And once again, thank you for all you do. We will sign the copy for you. And if you would like to get a photo,
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. And thank you, ladies,
Thank
very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Oh, yeah, I'm Funky, and Dylan, D-I-L-L.
Okay.
There's a second copy. And moving on the agenda to item number 2, consider the appointment of Jennifer Keith to the Community Planning Commission.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Jennifer Keith to the County Planning Commission.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, item 3, consider appointment to the Community Action Board.
We had 2 applicants, and I know Susan Williams has done a lot of, good work for the county, but I also think it's good to spread it around a little bit, so, Mr. Josh Kephart applied, and appears that he's got a good background. He's got a wife, kids, and is very interested in helping the community, so I would make a motion for him, and that's no disrespect to Mrs. Williams,
No,
who's done a lot for us.
absolutely not. It is nice to have 2 very qualified candidates express an interest, and
I believe Mr. Kephart had applied, he was in the file, correct?
Yes, he
Yeah, he
applied.
had applied
Yes.
some time ago, so in fairness, he had expressed his interest some time ago, so I'll second that.
properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And our final agenda item, consider delegation agreement with Redevelopment Authority of Clearfield County, which I will have our solicitor explain.
Thank you. So you may recall back in late 2020, early 2021, we entered in an agreement with the redevelopment authority that kind of came back to life from several years ago. Our agreement with them had expired. We did a 60-day extension. So this is a revision. The proposal is to go to the end of December 31st of 2028 to extend the agreement through then. Very minor changes. There were a few programs because they administer some of the state and federal programs that have changed. So the agreement's updated to reflect the changes in those. Previously, we had allowed for them to utilize 1939 Daisy Street out by the jail. However, last year, we actually subdivided that property, so they have ownership of that property in there. So that was a change as well. But other than that, everything else is fairly consistent. There's been no issues with the agreement. Everything's worked as kind of anticipated through there. So I would ask consideration for that revised delegation agreement.
And I would note, Ms. Kovalik, I forwarded her a copy of the proposed, the draft agreement. Ms. Kovalik reviewed it, got back to me and indicated that she was satisfied with it. The only thing, you'll take care of the issue.
It's just the job description,
Yeah.
make sure there's no changes that were made from the last one, and that would be it.
So,
Okay, do I have a motion to proceed with the delegation agreement with the redevelopment authority of Clearfield County?
so moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Do we have anything under the solicitor's report today?
Nothing today.
Gentlemen, anything else to come before the board?
Not for me.
Not today.
Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.